Women on television in local news, they have really cool like rent the runway dresses. They're beautiful. They know how to do their makeup like they were born to know. They have lots of earrings and tall shoes. I wanted to be them my whole life. Because if I got to be them or look like them, that was the ultimate hall pass. I could just tell stories. And I maxed out a lot of credit cards trying to look like that.
But this is the one we've all been waiting for.
It just didn't work.
Good evening, I'm Jana Shortle. Thank you for joining us.
You can't have an authentic voice if you feel like you're in a costume. It took a long time, but I did find a way to unapologetically be myself. My name is Jana Shortle. I'm a journalist and I host a show here at KARE 11 in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Are you guys excited?
When I first moved to Minneapolis 15 years ago, I was not out. I didn't see anyone succeeding in front of a camera as a gay woman. You know, I remember being a little kid when Ellen came out and it didn't go well. Rachel Maddow wasn't on TV back then, so I swallowed it. The first thing I did when I moved here was get a boyfriend, and he's great. I haven't really seen him in 15 years, so I still like you, Craig. I was actively internally fighting the fact that I was gay. It was like being two people at once, but you can only do that for so long. As a girl growing up in the world, there was a code. And in this industry, at least the code was very easy to see and follow. Pretty hair, perfect makeup, and their outfits look like they do in the magazines. Look at my face. Look at my face. Look how there's no lesbian smirk yet. That was internally difficult, but I knew how to do it. So in my late 20s, I started coming out a little bit at a time. I'm not out on air. And when I would have to be on this side of the camera, I got so scared. It was where I was least confident because I would have to do stuff to look like somebody I wasn't. And how can you authentically present the news or someone's story when you're terrified? Someone said, cut your hair. This isn't working. It went from Bob to short by Kimberly. Kim, helped me to become who I am.
I've been doing Jana's hair for about 15 years. When I first met her, she needed a beautifully executed, masterful bob. But I would style her hair differently in order to go out with friends than we would if she was going back to work. And the two became very separate. It was two Janas, and for me it was overwhelming because it was two clients. We worked together to help her evolve into what is now her most comfortable personal style. As she was assigned this new project and this new show, it became more evident to me that that was what they were wanting to see. They were wanting to see more of her. And so I absolutely was banging a tambourine, trying to cheer her on and trying to move it right along. I love her coming out story. I think it's beautiful.
When we debuted this show on January 11th of 2016, I felt confident enough to wear this hair and a David Bowie t-shirt. And I was so scared that the minute I got off, there would be like this group of people that were gonna beat me up or like send me mail to say, take her off the air. None of that happened. The applause were there. I wasn't saying I'm going to be this like trailblazer. I'm just me. I mean, this is always who I've been. I'm sad that I'm some sort of anomaly. It seems goofy because I know a lot of people that look like me. But I'm sure you could call news directors all over the country that would say my hair's a problem. We all know the heartbreaking stories about what happens in the LGBTQ community to kids figuring out where you belong. And I will be damned if I am not the person that they need me to be to get them to that point where they see themselves and say, hell yeah.
I'm Eric Mason. I'm a mother, and I'm a transgender guy. Corey is my 15-year-old transgender daughter. I started transitioning almost 2 years ago, and Corey started transitioning almost 5 years ago.
I've always known that I was different. I've always known that I'm not the normal boy. I was never happy, I was always negative, and when I first put on some makeup, I was like, wow.
My family is made up of me, my husband, and my 5 children. I waited until Corey was completely through her transition before I came out myself. It was really hard keeping that secret from my family, especially from my husband. But at the time, I just knew I had to focus on my child.
I've been bullied since 5th grade and still getting bullied sometimes. One kid said I should go and kill myself because I was different. I'm sorry. When my mom came out, I was like, I'm not alone anymore. We can actually understand what we're going through with each other. We can, talk to each other for having a bad day.
Me supporting Corey is, in my opinion, what you're supposed to do as a parent. You're supposed to support your children no matter what. So I don't feel like I did anything special. I didn't. I just love my kid. I love my kid no matter what she looks like, no matter who she wants to be. We are stronger as a family. I think anytime you are living your authentic self and you are living your truth, it makes you a better person overall. It makes you a better parent. It makes you a better spouse. My family is everything. We fight, we laugh, we cry. We're a typical family. We just look a little different. That's it. That's all it boils down to.
It was 1972. Love was in the air, and a pair of scientists made a discovery that serendipitously made them legends in the Pride movement. Meet seabird biologist and oceanographer George Hunt.
Hi, I'm George Hunt.
And his partner at the time, Molly.
I'm Molly Warner.
In 1972, they were doing research on the behavior of western gulls off the coast of Santa Barbara.
One day, Molly called me to let me know she'd found something really unexpected.
We had to mark territories and nests to look at how the eggs were laid, and we found extra eggs than we expected.
This shocking discovery puzzled them. Somehow, these nests had more eggs than a single female could lay per day.
Direction of the study switched to try and figure out what was going on.
Over the next year and a half, they spent more time with these gulls and discovered 2 female birds were acting as a mated pair. They shared a nest and raised their young together.
To our knowledge, this was the first instance of homosexuality in a wild population.
They went on to publish their findings in an international scientific journal. The response was overwhelming.
I had phone calls from New York Times, Times of India, London Times, one of the Australian newspapers, and it even ended up in places like Playboy.
Unfortunately, there was a lot of backlash too. Homosexuality in 1970s America was still misunderstood.
People felt angry toward us and the research we did, and they even worked hard to try and get Congress to slow down the funding.
It was a strange time in seagull research, but then something else happened. Farmers started to send letters too.
They said if I'd spend any time on a farm, I would know that farm animals are often same-sex mating.
Turns out their findings were not all that radical. Today, hundreds of different animal species have been found to exhibit homosexual behavior. It was natural.
It had a really big impact on the arguments against homosexuality that said it doesn't occur in nature and therefore it's against God's will.
The homosexual pairing has very little to do with morality as far as the gulls are concerned.
George and Molly receive letters, postcards, and phone calls from members of the LGBT community, thanking them for their bravery. This research transcended into music, cartoons, and even plays.
That's the best you can hope for in science, is that a piece of work is used by other scientists, and a really big bonus is if it makes a difference to the people of a nation that supported it.